G'day guys, Cam here from Kestrel Park Farm, part 3 of this limited edition special series that we're doing. So we're on our western edge of our little property over here, and this is the western end of that particular stand along the creek that we were fencing. So I'm going to turn around, we're going to have a bit of a stroll through and see how it's going. But, just a couple of things. This was planted in 2013 with the help of a few of our friends who came out, and we had a barbecue and a few beers and bonfire, and we planted nearly 500 trees in about 3 hours, which was a fantastic effort, and it was a great day too. So we'll just turn around and go for a stroll. Good on you. Here we are. So, like I said, this is the block west, I suppose you'd say. This particular site we use for doing surveys for birds. We found about 30 different species over the last 5 years. Not quite as many as up at the main dam up there with 52, but I reckon it's got something to do with the water. There's no sitting water here. Anyway, we'll just take a stroll through here. A couple of kangaroos just topped out a minute ago. The dogs took off after them. God knows where they are now. So about 5 years ago, we had a fire come through here. Unfortunately, the header there caught fire and she sort of spread this way. Did a fair bit of good actually. You can see a bit of scarring on the bottom of the trees there. Cleared out a lot of the shit that was growing in here. And it's come back with a lot more natives. So we have red grass, which I showed you before. This is an Austrostipus. There's wallaby grass down here somewhere. Oh, there's some longifolia. Mandra longifolia, a really nice little plant. So I mentioned this whole area that we've fenced off is roughly about 1 kilometre long, 25 acres. On that, there was about 20 trees total. We planted 500 in here, 700. We planted nearly 2,500 trees in total along this section of creek. Granted, we did have a mass die-off of 685, so, and not all of them take. We got 80%, which is pretty good. Really excited to see this regrowth coming up too, especially with these understory plants. That's Acacia implexa. That's a gall. There's insects and wasps and stuff nest in there. This is Eucalyptus albans, which is a white box. Not too many of them around anymore, not sure why. Couple galahs getting around. There's Ringo. Here, Ringo, come say hello. Come on. Say hello, mate. So that's Ringo, that's our purebred Kelpie, as you can see. Shame his legs are only 4 inches tall. Come here, Mo. Here's my other dog, Mo. Mo's Cooley Jack Russell cross. And like I said, Ringo's supposed to be a real big Kelpie, but he's Kelpie Terrier cross. Anyway, here we are on the bottom of the creek. So we fenced this off, like I said, and what it did is it slowed the water down. It gets a lot more vegetation, it slows the water down, holds the environment a lot quicker. The stock don't get in here as well too often, and if they get in here all the time, what happens is they erode those banks, they weaken these banks. So you get a flood event coming through, your banks are really weak, you've got no vegetation holding it, what happens? It ends up down in the creek. So it's good to have this vegetation here. It slows it down, slows the water down, takes the energy out of it. Allows that water to stay on the ground longer, so it soaks in a bit better. And we don't end up with an incision like a V-shaped cut through our creeks. As you can see, we've got a nice U shape over here. So it just slowly works its way through here. Lovely U-shaped valley, vegetated all the way up. It's yeah, pretty cool. I'm really proud of the work we've done along here. Myself, my family, and the friends that helped out along the way. And Landcare, fantastic grant system that they have. So I showed you the 3 today, and I'm going to send the drone up so you can get some context of how it fits into the landscape in its entirety. Anyway, I'm just going to turn this around and say, we'll see you later. Bye.